Good morning, lovely friends. How are you today? We are doing another little crochet and chat video today. What I'm going to be working on is a new project. And it is a nice, mindless little project. I am using the recovered yarn from one of the whips that we frogged in my whip video, if you've seen that. And I'm going to just be making a little crochet basket today. Why am I working on this new selfish project that's just like a mindless little something? Well, I'm glad you asked. I have to be honest with you, I am feeling a little burnt out. I have basically this month gone from making like maybe one video a month to making one video a day, and I love it in a lot of ways, but some days you wake up and you just, I don't know. This morning I woke up and I was feeling a little sore, I was feeling a little tired, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I have it in me today to film a full day vlog. Like, I'm not doing anything fun today. And I actually think the issue isn't that. The issue is just that I'm feeling a little burnt out. And I figured around this time of year, I think a lot of people can feel that way because we're getting towards the end of the year. Everyone is rushing to finish all of these crochet projects on deadlines or knitting projects or whatever it might be. You have this kind of pressure of the holiday season slowly building. I don't know about you, but on top of all of this crochet stuff I've been doing, I'm also wrapping up work for the year. I'm actually like completely wrapping up this job because I'm moving to a new job in the new year. And I also have like family coming in from other parts of Australia, and we have a big family Christmas this Sunday that we need to like think of something to cook and take. And there's all these different moving parts at this time of year. So I just thought maybe we could have a little chat about burnout in general, or like, I guess burnout with crochet more specifically. I think that it's something that I'd be surprised if not everyone, or at least like 90% of crocheters have felt at some point. Unless you're super new, in which case maybe you're not there yet. And I also feel like it's partially because of the whole like social media piece. If I was just doing Vlogmas, I think I'd be okay. But I think the thing is, I don't know, on social media these days, there's like this constant pressure to create something and to be posting on like a million different platforms and trying to keep up with all of them. And I just don't like all of them, to be honest, but I'm on all of them because I feel like I should be. So there's that piece of the burnout as well, is like the feeling like I need to be everywhere all at once. And I suppose I'm like, there is also an element for me where I have just had this really huge year of like training for Worlds, and I got an injury right before it, which you would have heard about if you have been here for a while. And so I had that like kind of mental and emotional block of like not knowing if I was going to be able to play. And spoiler alert, I did get to play, which was amazing because it was the best experience I had this year with anything. And I got back and like, I don't know, I haven't really rested properly, which is a bad thing, right? Like you should give yourself rest. You should, okay? Do you hear me? If you are listening to this and you're like, I can relate to this stuff, you're like, yeah, I get it. Take a break, please take a break. I am going to have the nicest break after Vlogmas. And don't get me wrong, it's not to say that I don't love being here and I don't love making videos. Also, this is getting wonky. That's not flat. What do I need to do with that? Will this fix itself? All that aside, how do we like deal with burnout, and what are some of the tips and tricks that we have that we can keep up our sleeve for when we start feeling a little bit just over it? Well, the first one is maybe a little bit obvious, but take a break. Just take a break. And I know that it doesn't feel like that's what I'm doing because I am still here on your screen, on whatever device you are watching on, talking to you about this. But to me, this kind of video is a bit of a break. It's not like a full day video vlog that I need to like keep coming back to and think about all day. I can kind of film this in however long it takes, and then I have just like a video that I can go and edit, and it's nice and it's simple. So for me, this is kind of the Vlogmas equivalent of taking a little break. So that's number one. And if I wasn't doing Vlogmas this year, I would just take a full break. I would stop posting on social media. I would like, you know, potentially stop crocheting if I felt like I needed to. It's all okay. Like, it's okay to put down your hook and to not crochet. And I feel like when we're on social media, we feel like we need to constantly be creating because everyone we see is constantly creating. But you don't know, like, you don't know what is going on behind the scenes. They could be taking huge breaks. They could have backlogs. They're using like, you know, old makes to show you what they're doing. I feel like if you go and you look at like your favorite content creators' stuff who posts regularly, it isn't always new makes. And that's because they take breaks as well. Like, they're not constantly churning out crochet makes, you know? So take a break. Number one, it's okay to take a break. And if you have a million gifts to make and you feel like you can't take a break, take a breath, go and make a cup of tea, even have a break mentally from it, like fully mental break from it for like an hour. Have a hot drink or a cold drink, depending on where you are in the world. Sit, read a book, do something else, do something that will 100% take your mind off it, because even sometimes for me, having that like full mental break from it will help, like absolutely helps the burnout. And I'm not saying that like that is what can solve every burnout, because sometimes it's a little bit burnt out, sometimes it's a lot burnt out and you need a lot bigger break from things. But that is my kind of number one advice, and it is advice I will be taking, because after I film this video and edit this video, which won't take as long as all of the other videos I make, I'm just gonna reset for the rest of the day. I'm gonna switch my brain off. I'm not gonna think about what I'm gonna make tomorrow or what I'm gonna post on social media. I'm just not. I'm gonna turn off my brain as much as a girl with anxiety can turn off their brains. That is what I will be doing. Another thing that you can try if you are like, you know, in the frenzy of making Christmas gifts, or, you know, you have a bunch of stuff to make for a market or whatever it might be at the moment that you're feeling a bit burnt out from, you can kind of pivot. And I hate using that word because it makes me feel like, one, I'm in an episode of Friends, or two, I'm in like one of those toxic workplaces that uses phrases like pivot. But you can try making, if you are working on like a really big project that you're like hustling to try and get done, maybe jump onto just a smaller project for a little bit. Or sometimes the opposite is true. Sometimes when I am in like market making frenzy and I am trying to churn out and finish all of these like big pieces, sometimes what I need to do in that scenario is just sit and work on like a big blanket, knowing I won't finish it, but it's something like mindless that I can just sit and do. I'm not having to count stitches, I'm not having to do color changes, I'm not having to sew in ends, I'm not having to stuff something. I just sit and I crochet. And something like a granny stitch blanket or something like that is such a good mindless like TV project. So maybe try that if you're feeling kind of that kind of way, if you're like a little bit burnt out from just making the same things over and over and over again, or feeling like you have all of these deadlines looming because it's Christmas or it's market crunch time or whatever it is. Breathe. It's okay. Swap your project, switch it up, let your brain kind of mentally reset and work on something else for a while. That can help. It can help. I promise. It doesn't sound like it will, but I promise it will. And I think another kind of tool, are we calling them tools? Burnout tools that I use is organizing. And that sounds really lame. I know, I understand that sounds really lame, but you've seen me do it this Vlogmas, right? Like, I don't know what to do, and so I organize my yarn stash. And even that, like organizing your space a little bit more, can really help mentally unclutter you. And I kind of love doing it. I leave all of my blanket yarn in big balls, unwieldy balls, still sitting in their mill-end bags, and then I just have a session where I wind them all, and it's all like, it's such a little like mindless thing you can do, but you feel like you're being a little bit productive if you have the same gene I do, which is my brain is like, I need to rest. I need to rest, I need to sit, I need to do nothing. And then I try and sit and I do nothing, and my brain is like, wow, you are so unproductive. Like, you're so lazy. What are you doing? Which is not healthy, and we're working on that. That's fine. But if you understand that feeling and you do want to kind of have a little bit of a break while still not having that little voice in your brain that's like, it's Christmas time, you should be doing things, organize your yarn stash. It gives your hands a break from crocheting. It gives your brain a break from thinking about patterns and what you need to do and counting and this and that. And it just lets you kind of reset your space, which also can really help you kind of just feel a little bit more at peace with the world when you're in a nice, organized space. That is tip number 3, I think. Are we up to tip number 3? Whatever. This is like not a list, okay? And it's definitely not a definitive list. This is just like stuff I do that can help me, and whether or not it helps you, I'm not sure. If during this you are listening to it and you're like, yeah, preach, I do that as well, please let me know in the comments. And if you have other tips on, like, you know, dealing with burnout, I would love to hear those as well, because evidently I need them. Also, this project is going a little wonky. It is not quite flat, but I think if I stretch it out a little, if I just pull at it a bit, it seems to sit flatter. So I'm going to carry on with it. It's just going to be a little basket for my room, so it's really not the end of the world. It doesn't need to look any kind of way. It's all good. And I guess, like, at the moment, the way that I'm feeling with, like, maybe feeling a little bit burnt out with making all these videos all the time, and with that comes this feeling that I need to be making something all the time, because otherwise what am I going to talk about, you know? I think it has kind of just helped me to think about why I started doing it, and really why I started doing it was to help us build this, like, keep building this community that we have here. And like, I am someone who has always loved having a community around me, and I am like the opposite of a lone wolf. I'm not an extrovert. I'm like an introvert who wants people who I can like talk to when I need to be able to talk to them, and also to have like people virtually in my corner. I think is like the perfect scenario for me, right? Is like, I still have my own space. I have my own little area that I can be and I can relax in if I need to, but you kind of know that there's people around you that if you're feeling some type of way, you can reach out to and you can have a chat to. And I love that about this space. I really do. And so I kind of started Vlogmas because I was like, okay, maybe this is a way to like help build this little community up a little bit more. It's something I would say I only really started YouTubing in earnest like partway through this year. I had made a few videos before, but I was very sporadic with them, and thanks to some lovely people on the internet like Kayla at The Girl Who Knots, and a whole host of other people that you've heard me mention like a million times throughout Vlogmas by this point. But I don't know, they like kind of inspired me to do a little bit more in the YouTube space and realize how nice the YouTube community is. So thank you for being here. It is so lovely to be able to like sit and chat and do these kinds of things with you. And like this whole burnout thing, it's not you, it's me, okay? Like, I brought this on myself. And I also think I need to just like keep reminding myself that it's okay if I skip a day. Actually, it's okay if I skip a day. It's okay if we have a day like this where we're just sitting and we're chatting and it's nice and it's easy, and it doesn't need to be some like elaborate video to entertain the masses, because let's be honest, we're not entertaining the masses here. We're just kind of entertaining ourselves, aren't we? That's all it is at the end of the day. So that's that. I really don't know if this video has made any sense, but if nothing else, I hope it has felt like sitting with a friend rambling at you about how they're feeling a little bit burnt out, and maybe they could try these different things to see if it would help. You know? Does it feel like that? And I think my plans for the rest of today are Literally, I will spend a little bit of time editing this video, I will get it scheduled, I will do the little thumbnail for it, and then I won't have to think about it for the rest of the day. I will give myself a rest, I will give myself some reset time, I will have many cups of tea because weather report incoming. It is a lovely, cool day today. It was raining all morning, there's a little bit of a breeze. For the first time in weeks, I am able to wear like some long cozy pants, and yes, I am still in a t-shirt, but it is not super hot, and so I'm gonna open all my windows, I'm gonna let the breeze in, I'm gonna let the cats sniff the outside air, and I'm going to just enjoy my day, not thinking about having to film every moment of it. And I think that's gonna be really nice. So, you know, this is called a crochet and chat kind of style video, but I haven't really done that much crocheting. I've just been yapping to ya. Anyway, thank you for hanging out in this kind of yappy, long form, chatty video. And if you like this video, please feel free to give it a like. If you have ever experienced burnout in any area of your life, but also in like your crochet or your craft, please feel free to share your experience in the comments below, and I would love to know your kind of tips and tricks on how you got out of it. Did you take a break? Did you swap projects? Did you do something completely different? Are you sitting here watching a crochet YouTube video because actually all you want to do is feel like you're sitting with a friend instead of thinking about your crochet projects that you have? All of these or different ones, I would love to hear about them. And if you enjoy this kind of crochet chatty content, any kind of crochet adjacent content, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We do have a lot happening this month with Vlogmas, as you have heard if you've made it this far into the video. And also we will be coming at you next year with weekly or fortnightly videos, depending on how I'm feeling, because I am going to listen to my brain and I'm going to listen to my body. But I will commit to at least fortnightly videos, if not weekly where I can. And I think that will be just about enough yapping from me. I would love to hear from you in the comments. That is actually another thing that really helps, is just hearing from you lovely people and knowing that what we're putting out into the world as creators is being listened to and watched and heard. Because, let's be honest, a little bit of external validation doesn't go astray. You know what I mean? Anyway, until the next video, I hope you have a wonderful time of day wherever you are, and I will see you next time. Bye!